Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're covering a breaking story from East Africa: deadly border clashes between Ugandan and South Sudanese troops that have left several people dead and many more displaced. Let's take a closer look at what happened, why it matters, and what could come next for both countries. In late August 2025, reports confirmed that Ugandan and South Sudanese forces clashed at their shared border. The confrontation turned violent after soldiers from South Sudan allegedly crossed into disputed territory. Ugandan troops responded quickly, and within hours, fighting broke out. According to local media and international agencies, at least 4 to 6 people were killed, including both soldiers and civilians. Dozens of families were forced to flee the area as gunfire and heavy weapons were used. This has sparked fear among communities living along the border, who already face insecurity and poor infrastructure. In late August 2025, reports confirmed that Ugandan and South Sudanese forces clashed at their shared border. So, what is driving this conflict? The Uganda-South Sudan border stretches hundreds of kilometers, but it has never been fully demarcated. This means that in some areas, there is no clear agreement on where one country ends and the other begins. Farmers, herders, and traders regularly cross into these disputed zones. When soldiers get involved, small disputes can quickly escalate into international incidents. Another layer to this conflict is resources. The border region is rich in fertile land, and sometimes oil reserves are suspected nearby. Control over trade routes and taxation also plays a role. And finally, both armies are under pressure domestically. South Sudan is still recovering from years of civil war, while Uganda has its own political tensions. This creates a situation where border clashes are more likely to happen. So what is driving this conflict? The biggest losers in this story are the civilians. Border communities often live in poverty and rely heavily on cross-border trade to survive. When fighting breaks out, markets close, schools shut down, and people are forced to abandon their homes. Local reports say families have already started moving deeper into both Uganda and South Sudan, looking for safety. Human rights groups are urging both governments to protect civilians and avoid further bloodshed. Unfortunately, this is not the first time people in this region have suffered from cross-border violence. The biggest losers in this story are the civilians. Regional organizations like the East African Community, EAC, and the African Union have expressed concern. They are calling on both Kampala and Juba to de-escalate tensions immediately. Uganda and South Sudan are both members of the East African Community, which makes this conflict particularly worrying for regional unity. Meanwhile, neighboring countries like Kenya and Sudan are closely monitoring the situation, since instability can easily spill across borders. There are also calls for a joint border committee to clearly mark boundaries and prevent future misunderstandings. Whether or not this will happen remains to be seen. They are calling on both Kampala and Juba to de-escalate tensions immediately. Uganda and South Sudan are both members of the East African Community, which makes this conflict particularly worrying for regional unity. There are also calls for a joint border committee to clearly mark boundaries and prevent future misunderstandings. The question now is, what comes next? If both governments commit to dialogue, this crisis could end quickly. But if hardliners push for more military action, we could see the conflict expand, dragging in militias and worsening humanitarian suffering. For Uganda, stability along its northern border is critical, especially as it plays a key role in regional trade. For South Sudan, avoiding another front of conflict is vital, since the country is still fragile after years of civil war. The next few weeks will be crucial in determining whether this clash is just an isolated incident or the beginning of something much larger. The question now is, what comes next? So, to recap, Ugandan and South Sudanese troops clashed along a disputed border, leaving several people dead and forcing civilians to flee. What do you think? Can Uganda and South Sudan resolve this peacefully, or are we heading towards a deeper conflict? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more updates on African politics and current events. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.